And then can you picture a magical river? So this is your river to make it however you want. It doesn't have to be an actual place. It might be. My river is that crystal clear spring in north central Florida. It's shallow. It's moving real slow. So your magic river is completely safe. There's nothing that's going to hurt you. There's no dangerous animals or rapids. So no matter what happens in your river, you're going to be safe the whole time. And really start to picture the water. Is it clear? Does it have a green tint? Is it totally glassy, smooth? Or are there little ripples from the slow moving current? Notice what you're in. Are you in a little boat or an inner tube or a paddleboard or a kayak? And then feel yourself being carried along gently down your lazy river. And then you might stick your fingers or your toes in the water and notice the temperature. Mine is slightly cool, but not too cold. Notice how that feels in your body to just be gently carried along. You don't have to do any work. You don't have to paddle. Notice what the sky is like. Are there any puffy clouds? Is it totally clear? Is it overcast? And you get to decide. Are there trees along your river? Grasses? And then once you've got a real clear picture of your perfect, relaxing fantasy river, listen for any sounds. You might hear the water rushing or the wind rustling through the trees. And you do start to hear a little splashing sound over to your right. When you look over, you see a little river otter, and your otter is diving around looking for food, playing by the shore. Notice how you react knowing there's a little river otter nearby. Are you happy? Do you want to go towards the river otter? Are you just watching him? Do you want to stay a distance away? Just notice how that feels in your body to notice a little playful critter on the riverbank. And then your river keeps taking you along. Well, you might have a little spirit animal swimming alongside you. Maybe it's your own pet, your own dog, or a dog that you know. Maybe it's a sea turtle or a dolphin. Picture some kind of support animal that's there to be your buddy, to help you. And he might get in the boat with you. He might just swim along for a while. He's totally safe too, this animal. He's not in any danger. And he might come and go. Maybe he paddles alongside you for a while, and he goes and does his own thing. And then keep these really pleasant feelings in your mind. Maybe it's picturing a happy little animal or the sky, some clouds, maybe hearing the wind through the trees. And this is always a spot that you can come back to, listening, watching, and being really peaceful. And then think about this past year. You're going to start to see some people that you interacted with or that you even just thought about this year. And as your people start to float by, just notice your reaction. Maybe you have close friends that come by, and they might come by and then hang out for a little bit. Some people might hang out with you a long time. Maybe you tie your boards or your boats together and float down the river together. And can you picture your favorite people that you've been able to spend time with or visit with this year? The people that make you really happy, people that you want on the river with you. They're supportive, they're going places, your speeds are matching up perfectly right now. And just notice who comes to mind first. Does this person give you a wave or a high five or a hug? What does it feel like to spend time with your special people? And then you might notice how some people might float on by. Maybe you give them a wave and they keep floating. These might be people that you run into at the store or people that you know from work. Somebody you have a pleasant relationship with, but not that close. And then as your boat keeps floating, you come around the corner and notice a really loud, rambunctious group of people. They're partying, having a good time. And notice how you feel when you notice these louder people that are on your nice, quiet, peaceful river. Is your reaction to feel annoyed with them? Is it you want to join the party? Do you just sort of shrug and give them a wave and keep on going? And so, what we're practicing with this meditation today is just noticing your reaction, noticing how your body feels. You might notice how your tummy feels, or your hands, or your face. And now we've already floated by the rowdy people. We're back to our peaceful river. We've got some more animals that joined us again. Oh, mine is a little manatee, and she's just swimming down underneath my boat. It might be a different critter this time than the one that was with you before. As we come around this next corner, you see a nice sandy beach. It's a good picnic spot. And so you're just going to let your boat float gently over to the sandy beach. And then you can decide if you want to stay in your boat, if you want to hop out and spread out a blanket or some chairs. But for just a few moments, you're going to pause. Maybe have a little snack, a little something to drink. And you're going to watch the river float by. Again, you can hear the sounds of the river. There might be leaves or sticks floating in it. Maybe there's a duck floating down. You might have some more people float by. Your river might be really quiet. You get to decide what goes on in your river. And then knowing that you get to decide this magical river, before you get back on your boat, think of this launching into the river as your new year. And if you could see around the bend what kind of experiences you want to have, what kind of people you want to hang out with, how much of your time do you want to spend in quiet or solitude or resting? And then how much time do you want to be going and doing? Maybe you've got travel plans this year or a busy season. And just know that before you step back onto your boat or before you shove off into the river, you get to decide. You get to plan your future. And then when you're ready, you can really slowly get back on the boat, push yourself off. And the current is enough to move you down the river. You don't have to do much. And then knowing that you decide who comes into your orbit, what kind of experiences you're going to have. Notice what happens when you travel the river this time. Who do you run into? What do you see and hear? And then I'm just going to give you about 4 or 5 minutes of complete silence for you to visualize going into the new year. Who do you want cruising along the river with you? What kind of experiences do you want to have? And just notice, you might not know the answers right now. Notice if anything pops up for you as we sit quietly. So that was about 4 minutes of complete silence. And notice how that felt to just sit in silence. Were you staying in your river? Did you drift off? Did you wonder, when is she coming back? So all this is just a fun, playful exercise in awareness. And I love that you do get to create this fantasy that could then become a reality. You can invite the people you want, the things you want, the experiences you want to have. And then if there's something you want a little less of this year, could you let it float on by? No need to shove it away, but turning your energy away from the things that no longer serve you and focusing your energy on what you do want. That is my hope for you for this year. And then if anything popped up while you were cruising along your river, if you want to take a moment and jot down some notes, if you want to send me an email telling me about how this experience was for you. And I appreciate you sitting with me. Happy New Year.